As I said before, I'm pretty much in repeat mode, which you can see from the panels on this side, which is the side that I'm working on now. So part of from where I'm sitting, left side, and also part of the left rear is pretty much in place. But I also wanted to shoot this little film because I've also made wheel wells. As you can see, they're kind of a different matter because they don't have a lot of shape and no compound shape at all. So they just go like that and then it's straight. But I still had to fold them over and weld them together. But it's okay. Hopefully it will mean that I won't have the dirt from the road and the wheels coming into the trailer when eventually I get on the road. Well, knowing that I am repeating myself, I say not a tutorial. But I wanted to show you now that this panel is pretty much taking the shape it needs to have. I wanted to show you what it looks like. It's full of dents. I bashed at it. It doesn't really look very good, but I wanted to show you it now so that hopefully, if any of you are interested in doing this kind of work, that you're not afraid of taking the mallet to the metal and just bashing away, because it'll work out in the end. Now you do need, there are other ways, but if you have some kind of small, not too expensive English wheels, you can iron out all these walnuts, all these dents. So this is just how it looks. I also want to say that you always have to work in those areas where you actually want most of the shape. I've made the mistake several times of working out at the edges, and they've been having too much of a curve. So always work these areas. The edges are always going to need to be shrunk, but if you work from inside towards the edge, that'll happen automatically anyway. So it's quite a bit of hard work, quite a bit of elbow grease, and that part might not be the funniest or the most enjoyable part, but in the end I enjoy making the shape, like I said. So have a go, bash away, and see what you end up with. Wanted to show you a view of the completed rear. All in all, and especially the complete shape and form of the trailer. Yeah, I'm pretty satisfied. It's come out pretty much as I hoped and intended. I'm not too happy about my gaps. The shut gaps, the shut lines between the hatch and the rest of the caravan are too wide. I'm gonna have to do something about that. Maybe I'll add a strip, a piece of metal, so that they become much more narrow. We'll see, but that's the rear anyway. So, in the vein of doing things yourself, and of course the joy of being able to do things yourself, I wanted to show you a small in-between project that I've just done. Took me about a day's work, not much more than that. And this is my welding table and my metal working table. I was lucky enough when I first decided to build the Wooster to be able to pick this up cheaply from a garage or workshop that were closing down. And it's really very good to have some kind of sturdy metal table to work on. So So I'm really glad, and it's been of immense use to me when I've been doing all kinds of small and larger projects. But space here in my garage is becoming scarce, and more things, tools, projects are accumulating. So I've been thinking for some time that I have to be able to use my space more economically. So one thing that I've been thinking of is that I wanted to have my table on wheels. As you can see, this is also the table that I've shown you, where I have my English wheel and my in this case it's like a tipping wheel that I have on that. What was it they called it? Rotary machine, right? So now I can move it around. So I have two wheels in one end that are just going straight, and I have these kind of swivel wheels in this end. So that's going to be great. Now I can put it to one side when I'm not using it, and I can place it where I want it and for the purposes that I need it for when I'm using it. So really good feeling. More usability. It's been a while since I was down on the floor. Maybe some of you remember, but here I am again down on the floor. I bought myself a couple more already made prefab pieces, second hand. I don't know if you can see, but they are the kind of stands or legs or supports that you have on most travel trailers, caravans. I have one position, I don't know if you can see, right here, which is where I hope they will end up, one on each side. And now I'm making brackets, stands, supports, I don't know what you want to call them, that of course will be welded to the underside of the trailer bed and then bolted so that I can bolt these onto it. Something a little different, some other kind of fabrication. I think it's going to work out fine. Okay, so I'm not in the frame this time. Can't really manage that, but I wanted to show you the contraption that I ended up with. Hopefully you can see the support leg down, supporting itself on the floor. I had to do a bit of trial and error, a bit of thinking and a bit of tinkering, especially, see now if I can show you without too much fumbling about. But over here in this end, there's a support, but it's a support that also has to be able to slide. But this is where it actually takes up the weight. But this part moves, so I couldn't fix it there. So I ended up making a fixture over here where the rod, the threaded rod ends, because that stays in the same place all the time. So that's how I ended up with this strange looking thing here, because it had to have part of it that moved about and part that stayed in the fixed place. Now this end of course was much more straightforward. I was showing you, I was already getting on with that, but it works. And I really enjoy solving fabrication and functional problems like that. Shaping sheet metal is great fun, but solving this kind of problems is also good fun.